Today I am going to share some updates with you from Princess Cruises. We've got pricing, also some updates on other things that I think you might like to be aware of. We're going to talk about Celebrity Cruise Line, Cunard. We've got some directions that I'm seeing a little bit more of in cruising that I just want to talk to you about, get your input on them, as well as have you be aware of them when you're planning your cruise vacations, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is January 22nd of 2024. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please hit that subscribe button? We would love to have you with us, and I think you're going to enjoy being part of the conversation here. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Believe it or not, that really helps us out. So thank you. Now, the first thing I want to make sure you know is that tonight we are going to do our live. We're going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So bring your questions, come for a fun time talking about cruising and traveling to cruise. Lots of information and lots of fun. So I look forward to seeing you there. Let's start at the top with some updates from Princess. So Princess, we have been talking an awful lot last week. We've been through glitches on the website. There are still glitches on the website as well as on the app. And so just be aware that those exist. Don't let it get you down in planning for your cruise vacation, but be aware that they are there and we just need to work around them. Another thing that I want to make sure you know is that pricing on some cruises has gone down, and I have noticed the difference even just over the weekend. And so it's really interesting to me that as the different cruise lines introduce these different promotions, and I will admit, I track the pricing on Princess so much more than on the other cruise lines. I keep an eye on the bookings that I have for people with other cruise lines, so wanted to make you aware of that. Another thing to keep in mind is it is seeming across the board that overall people are having better experience with the app logging in with their booking number. And I've heard that from people with the old app and with the new app. Now, I do know that with the old app, when we were on board ships, if you have trouble, you've got questions about the app, and you go to a crew member and ask about that, across the board they would say, when you're on board the ship, log in with your booking number and you're going to have a more successful experience with the app. It's sounding like that is still the case. People have even been reporting that if they are just logged into their app, they get on board the ship, they've said that they need parental consent in order to use the app. That notification comes up. But if you're logged in with your booking number, then you don't have that problem. So there's a handy workaround for you. Another thing that's really important is I have had the occasion to verify this lately. The app, the new app, it's called Princess Cruises, just Princess Cruises. If it's Princess with something else, that's not the app you want. Princess Cruises is available in the App Store for iPhone users and in the Play Store for Android users. Make sure that you know that. I even called to verify that because, long story there, but I did. So just make sure that you know that it's available for everyone. Another quick update that I wanted to make sure that everybody knows about, those Kindness winemaker dinners. I have been trying to check with people who are on different ships to find out, and we have got a Let's Go family member who is on the Sky Princess right now who has been kindly giving updates. We've got one on the Caribbean Princess, and someone else on the Ruby has let me know that on all three of those ships at least, right now they are currently running those Kindness winemaker dinners. And so if you're looking forward to booking one of those, I like to think it's going to be available on all the ships really soon if it's not already, but it sounds like hopefully it is. So if you happen to be on sailing and you would like to share any information, we would love to hear from you over on Facebook. And if you're someone that enjoys asking questions, getting answers, following the conversation, come and join us over in our Facebook group. It's Let's Go Travel Tips. It's just great. Another thing that I want us to talk about here is onboard updates. I've got a couple of onboard updates for you today. The Sapphire Princess that set sail on her voyage to Antarctica. Not too long after they left the port there in Chile, they started having rough weather. And it sounds like it is quite quite rough seas right now, and so hopefully things will smooth out for them a little bit. But I am really anxious to hear what they get to see along their way, hear if they get to go in any of those fjords along the way and see the beautiful hanging glaciers and that spectacular scenery. So I hope that everyone on that voyage is having a wonderful time, as well as on the other Princess voyages. Another quick update: the Sky Princess had to miss the port of Costa Maya today due to high winds, and we've had an update from a family member, a Let's Go family member, on the Regal Princess. They are sailing from Galveston down to Costa Maya today, and they are experiencing high winds as well. So we'll see if they get to make their call in Costa Maya. I believe it is set for tomorrow. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And if you're on a ship and would like to let us know how things are going, we would love to hear from you. Now, a quick note about Celebrity. Celebrity, as you maybe know, made some changes to how they were running things. They canceled a whole season of the Beyond being in Europe for 2024, for the summer of 2024, and they have moved her over to the Caribbean. They changed how they deploy some of the ships there to cover the Caribbean, and this was all at the same time that they announced that Celebrity would now be calling at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, their Royal Caribbean's island. And so all of that kind of happened at once, but I think it's really important to note that if you're someone that is wanting to try Celebrity, or you like to sail on Celebrity, that they are also sailing out there. They've got cruises going out of Port Canaveral now. We're used to them just being out of Fort Lauderdale. They've got that, and also a big change with how they have deployed their ships is they are going to be running a lot of those shorter cruises. Celebrity didn't used to do so many of those short cruises. And so they are going to be running both the Celebrity Silhouette, the Reflection, and the Summit are going to be running 3- and 4-night itineraries every weekend here at the beginning of 2024. They're also going to be the Celebrity Ascent is in the Caribbean right now, but then she is going to be going over to Europe to spend her summer there. They're going to be doing those Mediterranean sailings there. Also, I would say, and a lot of the sailings that the Ascent is doing over in the Mediterranean are more your islands ones. I was looking at a bunch of them. They've got more of your Mykonos, your Sicily, your Naples. Naples is right there by Rome. But that whole region there is really where most of the sailings of the Ascent are going to be this summer. So if you're someone that wants to go on Celebrity, those are some really good options. And then the Celebrity Edge, that's going to be the first time that Celebrity has had an Edge class ship, a ship that big, in Alaska. And she's going to be there this summer. So many options. And, you think of all of the different kinds of Alaska cruise tour experiences. When you think of Princess and Holland America, they own their lodges. They control that whole experience. Celebrity contracts with hotels up there, and I hear it is a very nice experience as well, but just kind of a difference in the whole experience. And so I wouldn't say one's good and one's bad. They're just a little bit different. Now, a quick note about Cunard. Cunard is very well known for their enrichment. They really have a corner on the market with the number of the guest lectures that they have on board their ships. A Let's Go family member I had the pleasure of visiting with, they took their first transatlantic on Cunard just in 2023. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The food wasn't so great, they said, though, but they loved the enrichment. And she said, we are so excited to get back on Cunard again for the enrichment. Forget the food. We'll put up with the food, but we are really looking forward to the enrichment. And so with that knowledge, they call it their Insight Speaker Program. In 2024, this is in 2024 alone, they are going to have 430 different experts come to the stage and talk about whatever their area of specialty is across the year of 2024. That's huge. So in the year 2023, they had 232 different speakers. So they're not quite doubling the number of speakers that they're having, but close to it. And so a highlight, so on the Queen Elizabeth, the investigative journalist and British television icon Ross Kemp is going to be giving talks in September, and what he's going to be talking about is sharing tales of his time in Afghanistan, in the Amazon, and following some of the world's most notorious gangs. Like, how cool will that be? I am too afraid to do that on my own, but I love to hear about it. They are also going to have like legendary mountaineer Kenton Cole, and one thing I really like is they have people on board who cover the the whole spectrum. So you have people who are more adventurous, people who are mountaineers, you have very much scholars, you have academics. They really cover everything really well. So just wanted to put that out there. I need to get on Cunard sooner than later because I am someone that really enjoys the enrichment as well. So let's talk about a few things that I think you need to be aware of as you prepare, as you kind of decide what you're going to do with your cruising, right? We all like to look into the future, decide where we want to go, what we want to do, kind of figure out how it is that we want to see that. And it comes to my mind that the other day, a Let's Go family member, somebody posted in one of the comments with all of the price increases we are seeing, and really we're seeing on all the cruise lines, that maybe the cruise lines are going to price themselves out of vacations for some people, that people won't want to cruise, they'll travel another way. I will tell you, there are magnificent ways to travel otherwise. I love to go on cruises, but there are amazing land vacations that you can take. So if you are someone that's just here for the fun and you don't think that cruising is really for you and you don't want to give it a whirl, that's okay. There are amazing land tours out there. And I actually book those for people. You probably didn't know that. I can help you with whatever you want to do, whether it's from a safari, whether you want to see Italy by land, and everything in between. Wonderful way to see the British Isles, all of these things. So just so you know, I can help you with that. But keep in mind that there are lots of ways to travel. And I would submit that if you have the budget and the time, I think that cruising coupled with then taking a land tour, whether it's a cruise tour through a cruise line, but even more, if you're looking at seeing the interior of Italy, there are magnificent ways to do that. So you can take your cruise, see it that way, then get off and then go enjoy whatever region of the world is this that you want to see. So having said that, here are some things that I'm seeing change a little bit with cruising. Now, as I just talked about Celebrity, they took the Beyond out of that market over in Europe and moved her over to the Caribbean. And so along with that, Celebrity has not even only shifted more of their sailings to the Caribbean, but they also are involving more of using the private island. I'll come back to that in just a minute. So we are seeing a lot more cruise lines shift even more sailings to the Caribbean. I think that the cruise lines still cover the globe very well. There you can still find cruises to the places that you want to go, that cruises go to. And but really there is a shift to have even more sailings going out of the Caribbean. And I think they're just trying to read what's going on right now. You've got plane tickets costing more to Europe, very expensive to fly to Europe. And then you've also got so many first-time cruisers, so many people new to cruising. And if you're out of the United States, it is very handy to do it out of the Caribbean. Along with that, we're seeing a lot more cruise ships leaving from the port over in Los Angeles and Long Beach and even San Diego than we historically saw before COVID. That is really opening up as a much larger cruise departure area as well. Another thing that I am noticing, and I hope that you are too, as I try to tell you about it, is a lot more cruise lines are taking people to more exotic places. Holland America has really upped what they do with their legendary voyages. Carnival has, I think they call it their Carnival Journeys. They are trying to incorporate more of your more exotic locations. You think of your Greenland, you think of your Antarctica for things like that. I think more cruises are going to Africa than ever before. So really, a lot is opening up with that. Another thing that I have really noticed is how I feel like the cruise lines are really going to greater lengths to really look at regions that have not only not had a lot of cruises before, but incorporate ports that have not historically been incorporated on cruises. So you think of those legendary voyages, you think of those Carnival voyages. Norwegian does a really good job of going to a lot of those exotic ports as well, and Princess does too. All of them do. And then you've got your smaller cruise lines that may cost more, but the experience is even that much more. And so when you think of where you want to go, chances are really pretty good that a ship will take you there. The other thing that really stands out to me is what cruise lines are doing with their private islands, as well as trying to acquire more land in ports. So we've got, they're going to have a new private island for Royal Caribbean coming out. You've got Lighthouse Point, that's Disney's new island. It's supposed to come out later this year. You've got MSC is expanding their ocean, what is it called? Ocean Cay. They're expanding their whole experience there on that island. And then in December, I saw this story and I kind of sat on it because I was waiting for an update, but I haven't, and I can't find anything about it. So I'm just throwing it out there because it might be something that's in the works. And it's just an example of where we're going with private islands. So in December, it was reported that Royal Caribbean was in talks to buy the Xanadu Resort, which is right there in Freeport, Bahamas. And they wanted it as part of their hope to redo, revitalize, make nicer that port there in Freeport in the Bahamas. And so to me, this shows that the cruise lines are not only doing a lot with their private islands, but they are really looking at ways to get more land, because I feel like they have the capacity to use that area for their passengers, increase passenger experience, as well as the whole deal. So I'll let you know if I hear of them buying that. But I do know, even before COVID, we had not cruised on Royal Caribbean yet, but I remember reading about it back then, and I've seen it since, that before COVID they had grand plans to acquire land in different ports and do a lot with it. And so we will keep our eye out for that. But I really do think that the private islands, and having even maybe in a port a cruise line own a resort, is really where this is going. And when you think about it, here are the 3 reasons that I think that they're probably doing that. And would you please tell me in the comments what you think? Do you enjoy the private islands? Do you want to go to a private island? And what do you think's going on? Like I said, that there are 3 main reasons here. First of all, to me, when you go to a private island, it's an extension of the ship, right? And I think the cruise lines really like that, because you get off, you think of, let's talk about Perfect Day at Coco Cay. I love that name. That's why I say the whole thing every time. But you think about it. Yep, you get up there, you're docked, you get off, you walk in, and your beverage package still works. They've got food that's included, and there are lots of different areas on the island for things to do. There are things that are included for free. There are things that cost extra. It's a great experience. We really enjoyed it. And so the cruise line, it's really an extension of the cruise ship. There are not other people there unless you're on a Royal Caribbean or a Celebrity ship. That's all that's there. You don't have any other tourists there for anything else. The other thing I really think is the cruise lines don't have to share any of the revenue. People get off, and if they want to buy a drink that's not included in their package, that Royal Caribbean sells them that drink. They've got their little shop set up around. If you want to buy a little something, that belongs to Royal Caribbean. You're not going to be going shopping in any other shops on their private island. You're not going to be spending any of your money on other excursions. If you want to spend something else to do, you're going to be spending your money through Royal Caribbean there. And they don't have to pay any other tour operators as part of that. That is their island, and it ranges from anything to wanting to ride the balloon they've got there, to go on a separate little boat ride I've seen offered. You can pay to go to their water park there, to have a cabana. They don't have to share any of the money. And then the other thing I think is because they can control the experience. They don't have to worry about anything falling through because a tour provider didn't do their end of it. They don't have to worry about any unrest in the port, because they control that port. And so I really think that in the long run, all of those pluses really add up to a lot for cruise lines. And when you even think of Princess Key, and you think of cruise lines like Princess, if they lower their price in order to get you to that on that ship and to these places, I think it's a win-win for the cruise line, as well as being a pleasant experience for the people who cruise. So I look forward to hearing in the comments what you think. Let me know some other trends that you see happening. These are just a few that I thought were worth mentioning today, and I will see you tonight at our live, and I'll see you here again tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Goodbye.